Alright, so how y'all doing, boys? Hope you're doing well on that today. Today we have the greatest PvE content in Grand Cross back, and in all honesty, I thought the Season 7 was going to be the final one we got. I mean, I definitely wasn't... I knew I was like... I made a full video on like it being the final one as well, but I just don't swear I ever remember there being like a Season 8 of this on the JP version, but I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm so happy that it's back. I mean, we're going to jump right back into it. I mean, if you guys don't know, if you haven't seen any of my previous Tower of Trials videos, usually what we do is we, play through the first couple matches, just talk about some stuff that's been happening in Grand Cross, and as we get, into the later matches, we kind of just skip on and do all the boss fights. But I mean, I'm so happy this is back, and we are going to be running the barn team on this one. Not any reason why I'm using the barn team. I would use Margaret, considering, she is the new hot thing, but it's been a while since we used the barn team, and she just isn't the greatest PvE. I mean, don't get me wrong, she absolutely carves up in PvP. She is fantastic, but yeah, PvE just really isn't her strong suit. I mean, Barn having an AoE ultimate does help him a lot in that factor, but the rewards in, if you guys haven't, once again, played one of these old school Tower of Trials, the rewards are just absolutely amazing. Something like 70 diamonds, or like 70, 60 diamonds, 300 anvils, 30 of each, cosmetic upgrade. It is just, I wish they brought it back. And I know with how they've changed the new school, and the fact that they're releasing 3 stages every 2 weeks, I think it is probably going to work out better in giving us rewards. But I don't know, I'm a fan of this one, and especially just the videos I get to make on. I am, more of a fan of these longer videos where I just get to chat with you guys and just ramble on about a bunch of nonsense, and hopefully you guys find it interesting. But here we go, new school Tower. I mean, I wish they'd do more. I mean, they haven't said anything about the fact they're doing it. They have actually said it in a recent JP patch note that for the the new version of Tower of Trials, they were thinking about every so often actually resetting the rewards on the stages so we can go back and do all those again. Would be nice. Definitely some of the rewards you get there, especially since at the moment cost their one-time rewards, would be absolutely insane. Maybe not so much, I don't think they'll re-give the gems. If there are, I think there's 1 or 2 stages that gives gems, but would be nice. I mean, at the moment with Grand Cross, we just haven't been getting a crazy amount of PvE content. I mean, we did get this, I'm just trying to think of his name. I have it somewhere here on my desktop. Never mind, I don't. Whatever the Gallant Cousin, whatever that boss was. Honestly, definitely a huge fan of the boss design. He looked super sick, super fun fight, but it was just way too easy. Every time I did it, I used a Gotha, Kyo, Slater, and a Sariel team, and literally the only person I'd gear on was Sariel. Boss attacks, the person with the most HP, which is Sariel, because he's the only one with gear on. He gets an attack buff, and then I just rank up Sariel on one tap. They're getting there, and I mean, with what's happened on JP with the new bird boss, I'm super keen for that to come to global. Not so much some of the things that have come with it, and I will get to that later on in the video, but yeah, no, just more hard PvE content. I know when the final boss Escanor dropped, so many people were this is too difficult, I'm not a fan. And at the time I was a little bit iffy about it as well, but now that that's in the past and we have a time to look back at it, I'm definitely a fan. And especially when the final boss stuff kind of dropped, they were definitely a lot more difficult. And I know in saying that it was earlier on in the game, we had less built out characters and whatnot. When the original final boss King dropped and that he dropped along with the Elaine and whatnot on JP. The Green Elaine had been on the game since the start for global, but dropped with the Escanor, and it was so much fun. I mean, I couldn't even I think the highest difficulty at the time was extreme, but yeah, that was definitely difficult. I did end up getting the costume. I mean, there was no way I wasn't going to, but definitely good times. But nowadays, even I find legend difficulty, or I think it was legend difficulty, what it was called, it's kind of just a joke. We haven't got any other game, any other content, in the game that's legend difficulty, and it is just so easy. It's almost just I'm not sure if it's just because of how much power creep has happened in the game, but I don't really see any difference to hell difficulty. Obviously, yeah, it's a tiny bit harder, but nothing substantial. You'd think they've put in an extra passive or an extra rule to make the actual fight more difficult, not numbers wise, because as of recent, a lot in Grand Cross, they've just been like, oh yeah, increased numbers, you know, the game looks like it's progressing. Like with Barn and Margaret, they just completely went ham with that and just, oh look, these units can hit like 2-3 million like damage AoE cards or ultimates, like crazy. But Barn is like one of the most simple characters in the game. You can't, like, especially in like a PvP sense, you rush ultimate, use buff card and ultimate, and then you win, and like you just have 2 other units there supporting him. Like no one else really gets to shine in the team. But I mean, don't get me wrong, Barn is one of my most favorite units, and he is my favorite Sin. But here we go, already up to stage 5. That went a lot faster than expected. Yeah, no, definitely one of my favorite units. I was so happy on like when the live stream happened and he like originally got released for JP. So keen. I'm so glad that they did make him as OP as he was. I know this sounds awfully contradicting, but there hadn't been any good or any new Barns since any good Barns since the Green Nunchuck Barn. And I mean, after that, I know there've been Barns after that, but I think it was like the Blue Ale Drinker Barn, I think, and he was just not good at all. I mean, people didn't even summon on him, but look at that, just absolutely one-tapping Hugo there. I do believe these guys have revive mechanics as well, but yeah, no, Barn by all means deserved to be. It is just downright OP as he is, but there we go. I mean, I would like to see more additions. I'd also like to see, whilst we're on the topic of Barn, more SR and R units added, and I know it's probably going to be a while until they do that. I mean, Fate Granddaughter, which is another gacha game, only just recently had like new, in their game, it's like 2 and 3 star characters drop, and their game is like probably like double the lifespan of JP Grand Cross, is probably even a little bit more than that, and which is absolutely ages. Like the fact that Grand Cross on the JP version has been out for 2 years is crazy. Like I remember that actually the day I haven't played since day 1 on the JP version, but I remember the week that game came out, like how just absolutely addicted to it I was. And I remember, you know, absolutely grinding the game, but it's just how far the game's come, and in a little bit of a bad spot at the moment. I mean, if you guys don't know what's happening on the JP version, along with the new bird raid that I was talking about earlier, we've had more power creep in the form of like a cosmetic upgrade, called like the Holy Weapon Relic, or like the Holy Relic, whatever it's called. Basically just, you know, boost your character stats and almost gives them like a second passive in a sense. So definitely, you know, something you want if you're, you know, trying to get as far as possible in PvP. I mean, you always want every advantage you can get in PvP, but the materials to get it are just so insanely difficult to get, and I was fine with that. I mean, everyone else was. It was like, okay, everyone can grind, and like by the time, you know, it gets to the time where we have enough materials, everyone will get to choose their one weapon, and like, you know, everyone will grind. It'll be something everyone's super like focused on at the time because we can't buy bundles. But then Grand Cross did the unthinkable. Didn't, you know, talk about it in any like patch notes or any updates notice or anything, because I guess they wanted it to go unslide. I guess they wanted it to go like under the radar and just completely slide through everything. But they released bundles, and I think it's like you have to pay $150 just to get one of these weapon relics. But when it comes to PvP, you know, the whale buys this holy weapon relic, and they've added Barn as one of the first characters. If you don't know, like when UR gear released, they released the UR gear for the characters in set groups. So we've got Barn as like one of the first weapon relics, and I mean, that just gives you such a huge advantage. He gets like an extra 15% max HP, which his ultimate works off of his max HP. So basically allowing you just to one tap even easier. I mean, very well, you know, you could maybe remove the Twiggo on the back because you're getting that much more HP, that maybe you could run a unit that was even more versatile and like good in the Barn team. Because I mean, the Twiggo kind of just like ties together that ultimate. Like there's no way you don't one tap if you're 6'6" and have the Twiggo in the back. Like he is just so strong. But you know, definitely made a mistake. I am still super keen for the bird boss to come. I mean, there is 3 levels of it, and at the moment not a single person, or at least not that I know of, has been able to beat that final difficulty. So more PvE, like more difficult PvE content, which like I was talking about earlier on in the video, I definitely do miss. I mean, the first Tower of Trials, like this old school one, when it dropped, I wasn't playing, like I wasn't spending money on the game, and was just the funnest thing. Like I didn't even get through all the stages. I think I got to like 22 or 23 and just had to give up until the next season, which I do remember I did actually complete. But I mean, playing the game playing the game free to play is definitely like some of the funnest ways you can play a game. Like just the extra like added difficulty to the game is great. I mean, less so when you're playing PvP, you know, it can be fun just being the wailed out player and just absolutely one-tapping someone's team, but PvE wise, but yeah, no. God damn, this Arthur as well is absolutely insane. I remember when this Arthur came out, everyone was just, he was so neglected, and then they extended the banner and everyone was super confused, but now that Barnes here, it's so obvious why he was here. But I mean, personally, I'm still enjoying Grand Cross a ton. I know a lot of people are definitely mad with the state of the game, especially the JP version, but we've still got a couple updates. They're also mad with the whole double festival, back-to-back festival banner thing they did. Fortnight after they released Margaret, they got Festival Cusack, which should be coming to the global version. We are going to be getting a combined collab with the Japanese version for like the Slime Club. We're getting like a part 2, and I'm really hoping they do, you know, re-release, you know, the old units on those banners, because I am missing Milim, which is a shame. But you know, they're also going to be adding a bunch of new characters. Also going to be getting another Rimuru, which is good, getting us 3 Rimurus. But you know, so we might not get the Cusack banner next week. I do think we will still get him, and then it'll go to the Slime collab, just because I feel like it'd be a tiny bit weird to interrupt the global 1.5 anniversary for a collab and then re-continue it. Like, give it a fortnight and I reckon the collab will be here and everyone will be super excited for it. But I'm just hoping they make the units like fun for PvP and whatnot, because as of them releasing the most recent update on JP, we got like a new Deanne and a Brian Hilda, which is like a Ragnarok character. They made it so her passive only works in PvE, and don't get me wrong, people have still used her in PvP and done really well, but her passive just wasn't that OP that it shouldn't be able to be used in PvP. Like, I know most of the PvE, like most of the characters that are built like that on the game already are made that way, because if you had that passive in PvP, it would be a bit OP, or just it wouldn't really work. Like, some matches it'd be like super strong, and some you just wouldn't get any effect. Like, it's weird when they make characters like that. The blue mono, I believe, has like a really good passive, which I completely understand why they've, you know, kept the PvE. Also already on to stage 10 here. You know, really hope they stop doing stuff like that, and I understand why they do it. And like, I almost give it a pass just because she's made entirely for this new raid, and like the same with the Toner when she released, she was entirely made for like the Belmoth raid. But I don't know, I'm just a big fan of PvP in this game, and I feel like most of this game is tied around PvP. But let's see here, can we just one-tap Simon? That would be nice. With the 1-star card here. Okay, never mind, he's tanking a whole lot better. These ads though are just instantly dying. But other than that, yeah, dead week at the moment for Grand Cross, which we did definitely need. I mean, we've had a whole lot going on, like from like the summer part 1, part 2, instantly into like the global 1.5 anniversary. Definitely tanking, you know, a lot of people's gems. If you've wanted to pull all the units as of recent, you've either had to have been really lucky, or, you know, pulled out wallet summer just a little bit for those gems. But personally, I'm sitting on a whole bunch of gems, kind of just waiting for the next new character to come out. I think I'm on like 1500, which after this you know, video's done, from all the gems I get from this, I should be on 1600, and also doing fairly well, just because that came up then in the Super Awakening department. Usually you guys hear that I'm absolutely just lacking and struggling, but yeah, no, doing fairly well there. I mean, especially because of, you know, the recent ticket banner they gave us with the part 1, like the, you know, they give us like the free level 80 characters and whatnot. I've been having really good luck on that banner, and just getting, like, you know, all of my coin shop characters are 6/6, so I just really get to use those, you know, the dupes of Super Awakening, which is really handy, especially since we're meant to be getting Super Awakening 6 with for global. I think it's just over a month away, so still a little bit, still have a bit of time to save, but they are going to give us the like 100 Super Awakening gems with the update, which, with how much more like expensive it gets with each rarity, it'll probably only get you like 3-4 characters, especially if, you know, you don't have them, you know, that alt level complete, so you don't have to pay for the lock. But yeah, no, I mean, it did have to happen eventually. I know a lot of people are mad about it, but we weren't just going to stay on Super Awakening 5 forever. come on, really. Here we go, getting that one done. I mean, personally, I'm a fan of Super Awakening. I mean, it was definitely coming, and like there was no way they were going to keep us with these gold stars forever, but I just hope they keep it at what it is and we don't get like a purple star on top of this red one, because it'd just be the whole situation all over again, which, although yes, I'm a fan of, they've definitely implemented some things better. Like the implementation of Yuagi is one of the, probably like the best power creep I've seen in any game ever. Like from the way you get the Uala stones, the fact that you can buy them from bundles is a little bit disappointing. However, I've bought a fair few of those bundles just to get characters done. Yeah, no, from the way that works to like how, you know, you build your gear and it goes to that specific character, I am a huge fan of it. It's a little bit of a shame that they haven't been able to, you know, implement some stuff as well. I mean, I feel like at this main time, like at the time of recording this video, the Netmarble CEO is just a tiny bit money greedy. I mean, yeah, I said it. The fact that they had to put bundles on this new bird event is really disappointing, and like almost every single Grand Cross YouTuber has made a video, so much so that it's gotten to the point where I don't even feel I have to make a YouTube video on. Like, I can just talk about it in this video here and it's enough. But yeah, super. I mean, it's to the point where it's like, yes, I could, you know, pay for it and get like a really good video done out of it and whatnot, but I just don't want to feed into it. And a lot of people are saying that, like, just don't buy the bundle and like, you know, show them that we don't want this, and eventually they'll see the backlash. Like, we've, you know, that like showed how we've felt about things, and Netmarble have changed. I mean, look at the whole boycott Assault Melee thing. We completely made them change. Like, they were about to drop a banner the next day and we just completely pushed that back like a whole nother, what, week or two, which is absolutely crazy, man, especially for how, like, you know, hype of a unit Assault Melee was. And like, a lot of people were mad about it, but we weren't ready for Assault Melee at the time. He would have just absolutely carved up everything. There was, yeah, nothing that really compared to him at the time. And they even pushed him ahead of other, like, I believe one other festival unit, which was also really strange since I've always talked about following JP's timeline, like, with the obvious exception of, like, collaborations. But, yeah, no, I'm just glad they pushed him back. Really wish I didn't pull as many Assault Melees as, I wish I didn't go as deep on the Assault Melee as I did, because now I'm here chilling with, like, 6 dupe coins that I just can't use, and it's super sad. In my Margaret summons as well, I got so many festival characters, but just none of them were Margaret. And yeah, of all the Assault Melees I pulled were Margarets, I would have a 6/6 Margaret at this point, but sometimes games are just like that, especially gacha games. Recently started playing Dokkan again, just because of like the whole 350 million download celebration, and I've gone like probably over 1,000 Dragonstones for this int LR Namek Goku, and I've given up now. I've just done that many summons that he's just not coming. I pulled that many LR Buhan, that many Vegetas. I already had Vegeta Rainbow before the banner came out and whatnot, and yeah, no, just sad. That's one of the greatest parts about 7 Deadly, the summon system, and the fact that no matter how many, like, if you put a certain amount of gems in, you will get that unit, like, guaranteed. Like, you know, they're given to you, but really just, you know, obviously not all games are going to want to put a pity system in them. I feel like Grand Cross is a lot less money greedy in that department. The fact that we've got such a good pity system, and I know, like, to some people 900 gems does sound like a lot to get your guaranteed festival character, but it's guaranteed, and like, they are festival characters. Like, they are like the crazy good characters that are meant to be hard to get. Not everyone's meant to have, but I feel like, as you know, games have gone on, people have had like it's called FOMO, like just fear of missing out, and they want to get and if they don't get all the festival characters, it feels a bit unfair. But I feel like I've definitely rambled on about enough, you know, just crap at the beginning of this video. After we finish this stage, we will just get on and only do the boss fights, but I mean, yeah, there isn't really like an awful lot more I wanted to talk about. Should probably save some, you know, stuff to talk about in other videos as well, since these usually are by far my longest videos. But a shame they're going to be missing. This will be the actual final good Tower of Trials, which is sad to say, but yeah, let's get on to, I think, stage 15 is our next boss. And there we go. It actually turns out the very next stage was stage 15. So do have 2 more boss fights that we will get through, but getting into this one Jillian here now. Being an SR unit, you know, doesn't see an awful lot of use. I'm a huge fan of Jillian, especially, you know, when like the Festival King, the Final Boss King originally came out. She was a unit I used in the back, and she helped me so much through that fight. The passive was like extra 30% HP and HP related stats to all green allies. So it kind of just chucked her in the back, and you just felt so much tankier. And like I said earlier, I just wish they would add more SR&R units. Like, I know, like, if an update were to happen where we just didn't get anything and just added, you know, had SR&R units added to it, a lot of people would be like, oh, like, what's the point? But I personally reckon that'd be hype as hell. The amount of, like, you know, random PvP showcases you'd be able to do with just super weak units. I really like when they add the rules as well that make the R and SR units stronger. With actually the new artifact system coming in, they have given us like an artifact set that does do that, so hopefully try and make the units just a little bit more viable in PvP if you can get that set done. But I don't know, I mean, unfortunately there aren't any, like, besides Twiggo, but he's used in the back, any like good PvP R units. I mean, I can't even really think of an awful lot of them. Simon was alright back in the day. You could use him in the front if you were like wailed out early game, but yeah, no, really, other than Twigger, there's not an awful lot that's even used, period. But no, there are a fair few SRs. I mean, SR Eren is definitely a really good one, but there we go, Jillian done. Here we go, and stage 20. Now, I'm definitely glad I used the Barn team for this, because I've just had it on auto for the past couple matches and just been looking through Twitter and whatnot, and have had absolutely no difficulty. I mean, the gift card, especially for PvE content, is just so crazy good. I mean, I'm definitely glad Barn is as viable as he is in PvE, and we will turn off the auto because that is quite a hand there. And I mean, he definitely isn't the most viable unit when it comes to, like, you know, every single form of content. If you have to give, you know, a unit that medal, it would definitely be the one. I mean, man, Claps PvP, you can put him in any form of PvE, and I can't really put my finger on a PvE event that he just doesn't, you know, do insanely well on. I mean, like, even in final bosses, there are certain ones where, like, oh look, demons take like an extra 1000% damage, which, you know, even in that case, you know, there is the final boss Merlin, I think it is, that has that effect, and people still use Red Dairy just because she's good. But no, there's not any event that just makes the one bad. And I mean, especially his ultimate is just absolutely insane, and I was not expecting to finish that as quick as I did. Here we go, and let's see it. The final stage, stage 25 of the final super boss we're ever gonna see. Now, by all means, if, say, like a year in the future they bring this back, it'll be the big hot thing, and especially on my channel, I can assure you that I'll be so happy. But yeah, no, I mean, we better just, I'm gonna actually try and play the stage out as slow as possible just to make the most of it. I mean, it is super unfortunate we can't actually retry or like rerun any of these Tower of Trials, maybe for like someone like, maybe if you're like a little bit less of like a, you know, wailed out player, or you just haven't played the game for as long, and you're struggling with this content, I'd like to be able to show off teams, but I am just such a fan of, like, you know, the way I record these. I have heaps of fun just being able to, you know, hit the record button, play through the stages, and just talk about random crap. And I know today's video has been a little bit negative with, you know, just what's been happening in the Grand Cross community, but hey, I have enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are the same, like, you know, enjoyed this video just as much, and hope you know you guys are finding just as much enjoyment in Grand Cross as I am. But yeah, honestly, so sad to see this kind of activity gone. I mean, hopefully they do give us more PvE content. I mean, they have, you know, replaced this with the new version, which is good and dandy, you know, especially if they, you know, make it so you can redo the stages. I'd definitely be a fan of, like, maybe seeing, like, in a video just how many stages I could get through. I feel like that'd probably be some interesting content, but at the moment, yeah, just 3 stages every, like, 2-4 weeks, I think it is. I'm not totally sure on, like, the numbers and whatnot, but not the craziest thing. And I'm like, especially for some, like, the players that are less, you know, well off, how make or break some of the teams are, I find, is absolutely crazy. And so much for making that one last a little bit longer. We just absolutely pummeled Slater. But there you go, the final set of Super Awakening coins. And that's the thing, like, when this stage, like, initially released, having 5, like, you know, different bosses in this here that, you know, gave you the 7 Super Awakening coins each was just absolutely ridiculous rewards. But look at that, 30 gems there. I believe there's another 15 down there, and I think that's it. I swear they gave me more than that. No, I swear it was like a 50 to 70 amount of gems, but I mean, just to get like part 2, part 1 ticket, 20 anvils, 300 hammers, 30 of each cosmetic upgrade. It's definitely still some fun. It's great rewards, and it is definitely fun content, but there we go, just shy of the 1600 gems there. But hope you guys enjoyed today's video just as much as I did. Please hit the like button, subscribe, really means a lot to me, and I'll see you guys for some more Grand Cross content.